Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're building your ultimate toolkit for mastering nonfiction reading and writing. Specifically, we're diving right into the Grade 7 English Unit 3 Lesson Pack 4 Focus. It's a mouthful, I know, but we're looking at the Nonfiction Types application task. We're going to model exactly how to approach this task with evidence-based reasoning and, you guessed it, transfer practice. So if you've ever stared at a dense informational text and just kind of wondered how to pull it apart like a detective to build a rock-solid argument, well, you're absolutely in the right place. Let's dive in. So here's our quick roadmap for today's session. We'll start with the power of nonfiction, move into citing strong textual evidence, analyze structure and purpose, build some evidence-based arguments, and finally look at your specific application task. All right, Section 1, the power of nonfiction, why informational text matters now more than ever.
We got to start with the big why. Why is your 7th grade curriculum suddenly so intensely focused on nonfiction? Well, just take a look at this National Assessment of Educational Progress data. Back in 4th grade, your reading was a pretty breezy 50-50 split between stories and information. But by 8th grade, it climbs to 55% informational text. And by the time you hit 12th grade, a massive 70% of your reading across all subjects is informational. The Common Core standards were literally designed this way so you don't drown in the heavy volume of reading waiting for you down the road.
Because here's the thing, mastering these texts isn't just a school requirement. It's an absolute real-world survival skill. In college and definitely in your future career, you're going to face complex documents, and there won't be a teacher holding your hand to help you through it. You have to know how to independently gather facts, evaluate them, and synthesize the information. Meaning, putting all those puzzle pieces together to form a bigger, coherent picture. And the application task we're prepping for today, that is your training ground for that exact reality.
Moving right along to Section 2, citing strong textual evidence. We're moving from passive reading to active investigation.
This is where your first major mission as a 7th grade reader begins, finding the proof. I want you to think of yourself as a detective, and the text is your case file. The target here is Reading Informational Text Standard 7.1. Now, in 6th grade, finding just one piece of evidence was usually enough, right? But 7th grade, it demands a lot more. You actually have to cite several pieces of textual evidence. You don't just blindly believe an author's claim, and you definitely don't just pluck out one quote and call it a day. You've got to extract a pattern of hard, undeniable evidence to back up your case.
This anchor standard is a great reminder that reading is a highly active process. You're basically looking for two specific things. First up, what does the text say explicitly? These are the cold hard facts printed right there on the page in front of you. Second, what logical inferences can you make? This is the really fun part. What is the author secretly implying between the lines? Your evidence needs to support both the obvious facts and your own logical discoveries. It's literally like uncovering a hidden motive. Take a look at this comparison. This is the difference between simply repeating facts and actually modeling an evidence-based application task. A weak response is totally passive. It just drops a fact, like, the text says the sky is blue. Okay, great, but why does that matter? A strong response, the exact kind you need for your Grade 7 application task, contextualizes that evidence. You'd say, according to the author's specific claim in paragraph 2, the sky is blue because… See the difference? That proves exactly where your evidence came from and how it connects to the larger point you're trying to make. You weren't just parroting information, you're wielding it.
Okay, Section 3, analyzing structure and purpose. Let's deconstruct how an author builds their argument. So, once you've gathered your evidence, you have to figure out how the author built their informational house, so to speak. Under Standard RI.7.2, it's no longer just about finding a single main idea. Nope. You have to track two or more central ideas and see exactly how they interact throughout the text. Plus, you're tasked with providing an objective summary. And honestly, this is a massive leap. An objective summary means you state exactly what the text is about, but completely leave your own personal opinions, biases, or judgments at the door. You are just reporting the facts of the text, purely and accurately.
And Standard RI-7.5 takes this architecture a step further. You aren't just looking at the ideas anymore, you're deconstructing the text piece by piece. You need to analyze the structure an author uses to organize their thoughts. Think about it like this. How does one specific paragraph act as a load-bearing block for the larger argument? Like, if you were to completely pull out paragraph 3, does the whole argument collapse? Understanding this kind of structural engineering is what eventually allows you to navigate dense information and expertly build your own complex texts.
Which brings us to Section 4,
building evidence-based arguments. We're transferring your reading skills into powerful writing.
This is where we hit transfer practice. It's a pivotal moment. You're shifting from being the detective reading the case file to the lawyer arguing it in court. Writing Standard 9 is arguably one of the most important standards you're going to learn because it explicitly connects your reading and your writing. You aren't just writing from your own memory or isolated opinions anymore. You must take those multiple pieces of hard evidence you just learned to extract and use them as the foundational pillars for your own written arguments.
The Common Core really emphasizes what they call an integrated model of literacy. In simple terms, it just means reading and writing are a two-way street. They don't live in isolation. You read to write, and you write to demonstrate what you've read. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that your writing is only ever as strong as the evidence you've pulled from the text. If your reading analysis is superficial, your written argument is going to crumble in court. But if you've closely read, extracted strong evidence, and understood the author's structure, man, your writing will be undeniably powerful.
Finally, Section 5, your application task. Here is the step-by-step toolkit for your assignment. Let's put all of this theory into practice with an actionable checklist for the application task you're about to tackle. Step 1, read closely. Be that detective. Look for what is explicitly stated and what is inferred, and grab several pieces of evidence. Step 2, figure out what the text is fundamentally about by determining those central ideas and summarize them completely objectively. And finally, Step 3, the transfer practice. Put on your lawyer hat, draw that hard-won evidence out of the text, and synthesize it to support your own written analysis. This right here is exactly how you prove mastery of the content. You now know exactly what the standards demand of you, and you understand the integrated model of reading and writing that will make your work really stand out from the crowd. You've got the toolkit, and you've got the text waiting for you. So the only question left is, when you open that case file today, what undeniable evidence will you uncover?